Hey there guys, Funky Phil here, and I've got a new episode for you guys. It's going to be a three-part series actually, and it's a little bit different from my other videos that I've made that have either been a set review or a review on my LEGO Transformers that I make. This one's going to be kind of in between the two and focusing on a new LEGO set that I got. I'll zoom out to where you can see it. This big 3-in-1 set. So let's dig into it. So this set I got at Walmart. It was an exclusive set, and it's 3 sets in one: the dinosaur one, the shark one, and the owl one. And all of these sets, usually independently, are anywhere from $12 to $15 by themselves. But the entire 3-set pack I actually got for $20. So really good price for that. Now I already had these 2 sets, so you might see some of the pieces that I use for my Transformers from these 2. This set I didn't have yet before now. So really good pieces. There's a lot of really good ones that I use a lot for my Transformers. Now, what I want to do, I'm not going to do a set review like you might expect, but there's something slight bit different that I am going to do. My plan is, and I've seen other YouTubers do this before, is I'm actually going to take each of these 3 sets independently, so that is going to make it towards 3 parts for this series, and I'm going to take each set and use just the pieces from that set to build 1 or 2 Transformers. So I'm going to, for instance, I'll take the pieces from the Tyrannosaurus Rex set, and using only those pieces, build a Transformer. Now this will be a little bit difficult because there's not a lot of vehicle parts in these since they are animals, but I'm going to limit myself to where I can only make a vehicle Transformer, mainly because I feel like going for an animal Transformer would almost be too easy with these being animal sets. So I'm going to try and make vehicles out of them. Now there's no wheels or tires, so I can't do any vehicles along those lines. So I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do for that. But you guys are even going to see some of the design process and kind of how I create my Transformers. Everybody has their own unique way, and I have my way of coming up with designs and making these Transformers that I've made and shown you a few of them. So we're going to see how this works. So for this first episode, I think I'm going to start with the shark set because I do have an idea for what that one could transform into for a model. So I'm going to open it up, going to look at the contents. I'm going to show you guys some of the pieces that I usually look for in sets for my Transformers so that you guys can kind of get a feel for what I usually look for and what you can look for in sets as well, because there are certain pieces that are better for Transformers than others. So I'll open up the box and get a few of those pieces out. So right now I'm working on sorting out the pieces from the sets. One thing that I didn't actually realize is from this really big box, the individual sets are actually in their own boxes, which is kind of cool. So each one is in their own box. So that's really neat and actually makes it a lot nicer to be able to sort out my pieces and stuff. So I'm sorting them out by color. So all my grays, my reds, my whites, stuff like that. And I'm sorting out a few of the pieces that I'm going to show you guys here in a minute that are key ones that I look for when I buy a LEGO set. So I'll be showing you guys that in a little bit. Now, the reason that I'm limiting myself to only using the pieces in these 3 sets to build Transformers is actually because I'm not where my main LEGO collection is. I am currently serving at a Bible camp, and I'm actually living at that camp for a while now, and I don't have my big collection with me. The only LEGOs I brought are some of the Transformers that I've been doing some videos on, and also this set that I just bought. So I don't have my other pieces to even use. So that's why one reason why I'm actually limiting myself to just the sets. And also it's just kind of a cool challenge that I want to see if I can actually do. So you guys will see some of the different steps, some of the different trial and error that I have that happens with all of my Transformers. I have some ideas that work and some that don't. And you'll get to see quite a bit of that. But let me show you guys some of the pieces that are key pieces to look for in your sets. So this set actually has quite a few really good pieces. So here's some of the main ones that I look for. First off, one of the main ones, and there's quite a few sets nowadays that have them, but it's ball and socket joints that I look for a lot. So they come in different variations. So like there's a few different variations of the socket ones where the socket's in different places. There's a few different ball joints. And those are just really nice because you can connect them, and you get a lot of movement and different variability in where you can position things. So like for instance, you can go side to side, up and down. You can rotate it sideways or upside down, or anything else that it can actually let you do. Now there is some limits to how far it can do, like side to side movement. You can't really do a lot just because of the way the piece is made. But there's still a lot of things that you can do with ball joints. So those are some of the main ones that I look for. Now I also like to find clip and bar pieces. So these two are some of the main plates with the bars that I look for. So this one has the two dividers on it. This one only has the ones on the ends. These two are very commonly used throughout my models, as well as this version. And then this one doesn't have a lot of clips or anything, but there is this 1x2 plate with the two clips, and then this clip with the cylinder that you can put bars in. So those work really well for if you're doing just a simple hinge. You don't need it to go side to side, but you need something to go up and down. Works really well for that. I'll even incorporate like having another piece connected here. You can actually connect more than one to this piece especially. This piece is really handy, and I don't have enough of actually. But they all are very handy in their own unique way. So bar and clip pieces come in super handy. Also along the same lines as bar and clip, although I don't use them quite as much, are the tighter hinge plates that lock in place, and then they actually have positions that they actually snap into. You can hear the clicking. Now these can be handy, especially if you have a bigger model that you need their joints for like their feet or their arms to stay in place better, which the clips can do pretty well, and so can the ball and socket joints, but they do allow a little bit more movement than the locking ones. So locking ones are very handy for that. Also, hinge bricks like this, where you have the plate on top, either a 1x2 or a 2x2 like this one is, those can be pretty handy and come in different areas. You can hinge different ways, and you can even take off this plate and reverse it to have it be a different angle. So those work pretty well for quite a few things. I don't use them quite as much as the other pieces, but still use them here and there. And then the last type of bricks and plates that I look for are actually side stud bricks and plates. So they come out with a lot of different ones. Like this one that is taller than an average brick with the two studs hasn't been around for a long time. But then you've got like the plates that have the side plates. You've got some that have studs on multiple sides. You got small ones like this. And even along with those lines, Technic bricks actually work pretty good too, especially if you have Technic pins to put in them. They work really good for different things like that. And you can even connect studs to Technic bricks. So, and that allows for you to get different angles that you wouldn't get with average pieces, average bricks. So it's really good to be able to get those unique angles. So those are kind of the main pieces that I look for in sets. So I've got all those kind of portioned out to where I've got those main ones. And I do have an idea or two for this transformer, so I'm going to kind of start building a little bit of what I maybe think I can get done here. So let's get into the building of it. So one of the key things that I do for vehicle transformers is I always have the windshield, or wherever the pilot or driver of the vehicle would be, to be a see-through piece. So see-through tiles, see-through plates, different things like that. Now, these three sets don't have a lot of see-through pieces, so that will be a little difficult for me to stick to that rule. But this one does have a few see-through pieces. It's got a couple of gems. It's got a lightsaber bar like you would have in Star Wars. But then also, I noticed it had these radar dishes that are see-through lime green, that are used for eyes and gems and stuff like that throughout the different versions of the set that you can build. And I was thinking, what usually has something round for a windshield or a cockpit? And I was thinking, and a submarine actually came to mind for that. And I've got a lot of sloped pieces that would actually work really good for a submarine. Like for instance, there's these fin pieces that would be used on the Shark that would actually work really good for fins on a submarine. I've got these different claw pieces that would work for both propellers as well as maybe grabber arms that some submarines have to be able to grab things under the ocean. So I'm going to go for the submarine concept here and see what I can come up with. And I'll probably be building a couple sections, and then I will show you guys what I come up with and a little bit about how I built it, if it works, and we'll see where we go. So I have an idea for the grabber arms. Is basically the crab arms from the set. So using a couple of the claws and the socket joint to be able to connect it, and a couple bars. And also this could be, I've done to where this can actually be feet for the robot mode, or it could be the hands to the robot mode. So we'll see which one it becomes, but if you're wondering how to build it, you just need 5 of the pieces from the set. You'll take the socket plate. You'll take 2 of the 1x2 bar plates that are red, and you'll place one on top, the other on the bottom. And you'll take those 2 claw pieces and connect those to that. Now I may end up changing it towards actually a slightly different claw, to where I'm taking this clip piece and this tooth piece and actually connecting those. It's actually the crab's legs in the set, and they may work a little bit better if I decide to do hands for this instead of having these really big pieces, really big claws. And also it would allow me to use those claws for other parts of the model as well. So we'll see if I stick with these. But for now, that's kind of what my concept is for the grabber arms of the submarine. Another thing that I usually use for my transformers is the see-through pieces for the head, usually signifying that that is the eyes of the robot and the head. And I've decided that I'm going to use one of the gems for that. And the way I'm going to incorporate it is on the top of the submarine, I'm going to have this spotlight that'll help light the way as it's going through deep, dark oceans. So the pieces I used to be able to build this, I'm using one of the 2x2 sloped tiles. Then I connected a 1x2 plate with the bars on the side. Then one of the clipped cylinders. And then the gem can just go on the end of that. So that'll be the spotlight, and also it can become the head in the robot mode. Just a little heads up, this isn't going to be a complex transformer by any means. So this is a very simplistic one, fairly easy to transform. Doesn't look the best, but it still transforms. So I think you'll enjoy it. I've got the rest of it, I think, figured out, so I'm going to show you what I came up with and how to build it. So let's see what we can figure out here. Now for the top of the submarine, I thought I would use this really big sloped piece. So I think right away I can add the flashlight slash head to the top of that, and get that connection going. Now, using this as the basis and the kind of size for it, I've already got the claws and hands made, so that's already done. So now let's build the main torso of the build. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these 1x3 plates to fill in this gap that is right here. And then using that radar dish for the windshield, I'm actually going to take a couple more of those 1x3 plates to put next, so going further back here. So they'll connect where there's a 1x2 gap right there. And then using this 2x2 plate with the side studs connecting right there, a jumper plate on front of that, and then that radar dish can go right there for the cockpit. So that's where the cockpit will sit. Now, trying to remember exactly what I came up with. So I actually built this portion of the model and then I had to take it apart. So it may take me a minute to figure out how exactly I built it. So it may be a couple seconds here, but I think I used these 2 wing plates, connected them both here, and then after that I connected a couple of 1x2s next to that side stud brick. That way I could connect a couple of these 2x2 plates with the ball sockets on it, so the ball joints. That way the arms can connect to it once we get to that step. Then I believe I have these sitting here, but right now they don't actually connect, so we'll get to that in a minute. But I think I took the other 1x2 plate that I have here, connected it on the back, and then I had 2 socket plates on the back, And then I believe I did a 2x2 plate like that. So that kind of gets the upper portion of it. I'm going to use this 4x4 plate with the angled portions, and I'm going to do some different steps here. So I'm going to take this 2x2 plate, I'm going to connect a couple of angled tiles here just to add to the look. Then, if I can get it on here, I'm trying to think. I believe that I connect a couple of these 1x6s. So grab a couple 1x6s, attach them down the middle. Then this portion will actually have the barred plates right there. And that will eventually sit where I had it before, but it connects here instead of there. And then our fin plates will actually go there. They'll be the fins of the vehicle. So those will connect both of them there. Then I believe I took this. Let's see, how is it fitting so far? So that'll fit together, but I still have a decent gap in there. So I think what I did after that was I actually took a 2x4 plate, connected it there, which allows it to connect all the way. Then I connected 1x2 plate there. So then got another one of these angled plates, kind of like what I just put on there, but it's a 2x4 instead of a 4x4. But I'll take a few small pieces. I'm going to place a couple of square 1x1s here on the end. Place a couple jumper plates next to those for some added detail. And that can just slide on right back there. And then I think we've got the main build, the main portion of the build made. So the last part I think that I have yet to build is the reason that I have the ball sockets here is for the propeller type system for the submarine, and also what will become the legs or feet of the model. So that part I'm still designing a little bit, but this is what this portion will be. And if you want, you can even go ahead and connect the little grabber arms to the front of the submarine. I think it is coming along quite well. So I'll do some more designing on the legs, and we'll see what happens from there. So I actually just realized a portion. So this 2x2 plate that has the two slope tiles actually was pushing the radar dish, the front of the submarine, actually up towards trying to pop off. So I'm actually going to change that a little bit. So I'm going to take some of these pieces off. Little trick: if you can't get a plate like I can't get this 2x4 plate out with just my finger. Well, I can get it with my fingernails, but if you can't, you can actually take a bar and actually go through and push it out, and then it'll just come right out. But instead of having that piece, I think I'm just going to use a couple of these 1x6s. So I'll disconnect the 1x2 plate, and then that'll all just be connected with that. So instead of having this with the 2x4 plate and the 1x2 plate, take those out and put this in instead. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the top there, and I think that'll be good for that portion. Okay, so I think I have something figured out for the legs here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking ball and socket plate, taking the socket plate actually on top of the ball joint. Then I'm taking these two angled sloped tiles, placing them like so. So that's what they look like when you place them on there. Then I'm taking another ball joint, connecting that there. From that, there will be a 1x2 plate on top of that. There will be one of the angled tiles coming off of that with the brick, the Technic brick with the Technic pin hole. Technic pin will go into that. Then the spacer here. Then I'm going to take a 1x3, connect it down below, and then take another angled tile there. And then I'll angle it as far in as it'll come, which it'll look like that, and then build another one. And then we can connect that to the back of the submarine, so that'll connect right there. The other one will connect right like so. And then you can carefully get them to line up actually pretty cool back there. So they'll actually line up like that. And then you have your rocket boosters. And I think we have a completed submarine transformer. So hopefully you're able to follow those steps fairly easily, kind of build what I was building. Sorry that some of it wasn't the clearest, unlike some of my other models. But let's go ahead and transform it and see what it looks like in robot mode. So again, we talked about some different sections. These are going to be the arms. So the arms of the submarine are the arms of the robot. The light is going to be the head, and then these boosters on the back are going to be the legs, main section being the torso. So to transform it, we'll take the fins, just fold them in, tuck them in alongside. The claws can rotate around to become our arms. Then our head can rotate down, zoom out a little bit so that you can see. And then those legs you can actually position just like so. Just rotate them out and like so, to where now he can stand. And I personally think that his robot mode turned out pretty cool. So you got his claw arms right there. You got his head that can move up and down. You got quite a bit of posability with legs. The color scheme and all of that actually turned out really cool. What I'm curious is actually if this looks better. Yeah, do that. Flip the fins forward to where they're tucked along the chest. I think that actually looks really cool. So this is the submarine transformer that I built using only the pieces from that LEGO Creator Shark set. So, hope you guys enjoyed. My challenge for you guys is to actually build your own transformer from this set. So if you have the set or you can get your hands on it, try this challenge of just building a transformer from only the pieces in that set. Let me know what you guys come up with in the comments, what you think of my model in the comments. I love you guys. God bless. I'll see you guys next time. And this is Funky Phil signing out.